I say we, you guys. Me, myself, and I, because literally no one else works here. I forgot about this. That's the point where we really go out of business, for sure. Hey guys, it's a Monday and I thought I would start a vlog. I want to start telling you some more behind the scenes stuff about actually sort of the business side of Blackstrad and what I'm doing as a flutist turned entrepreneur slash still a flutist mostly. So today is the first day of 3 weeks of vacation in quotes, from the Utah Symphony. That's in quotes because at some point I am going to have to practice during my vacation, but I don't think I'm gonna have to practice this week. I think I'm gonna take this week off. So, you know, I have this huge to-do list of all the stuff I wanna get done with Blackstrad, like starting today, which I did get some things done today. I managed to get a bunch of messages and emails out and text messages to some groups that I sent samples to, high school band and another group, professional group that I'm waiting to hear back from. So I did manage to get a marketing email out today, which is good because those are kind of time consuming. If you get my marketing emails, I hope they look okay. I do them all myself in Klaviyo. Well, actually I do them in Canva and then I export them into Klaviyo and it gets sent to you via Klaviyo. And Canva's pretty fun. I actually like doing that sort of graphic design stuff, although if you get my emails, you know that I kind of recycle a lot of templates over and over again, and then occasionally come up with new ideas that I always think don't look as good as the original idea. So I did get a big email out today, and it's always amazing. If I can get an email out, you guys buy more stuff, so thank you. I also got out several social media videos, and if you're following me on Instagram, you're not going to see these videos because they're trial reels, and they only get sent to non-followers. So maybe by the time you're watching this, you are now following me from one of those trial reels. So a lot of the trial reels is also kind of repackaging stuff, sort of like how I do with the emails and just reformatting. So I'll take like a video that was really successful in the past and I'll just run different audio behind it, or maybe I'll, like today I redid the script for one and I re-recorded the voiceover and put new music behind it and of course a different caption and everything. So I did manage to get 2 of those done this morning. I haven't checked to see how they're doing yet. Trial reels usually start off really slow, but it has been a way for a lot of new people to find me, which is great. Social media has been going well. That's one thing I can say has been going better than planned. I had goals for like the Instagram followers to reach 10,000 by the end of June, which we definitely met. And I say we, you guys, me, myself, and I, because literally no one else works here. It's just me. So, and then the other goal was to get to 20,000 followers by the end of the year. And guess where we are, you guys? We're on the cusp of 19,000 followers right now, which is just unbelievable to me. And I'm so grateful to you guys who are following me. That is awesome. You know, I talk to ChatGPT now, which is, yeah, I'm not embarrassed, but I also can't believe that too. ChatGPT has been super helpful with actually like strategy stuff. So there was for a while I got kind of paranoid about people unfollowing me or what my unfollow rate was. And so I can actually put my stats into ChatGPT and ask it questions. And it turns out my unfollow rate is actually really low, which is great. So, and then it gave me a really good pep talk about how it's good for me to have people unfollow because what I want ultimately is high engagement, which I do have pretty high engagement rates. Actually, they're really good. So we want to keep engagement high. Blackstrad wants to keep engagement high. And that's going well. So yeah, ultimately you want your followers to kind of clean themselves out if they're not interested, and you want them to unfollow you, which is a little bit painful, but ultimately that's the best thing for everyone. So that's going well. So the growth rate for Instagram has actually been over 20% in the last month, which is considered an exceptionally high growth rate, yay. So I had ChatGPT write me another kind of Instagram strategy for the rest of the year, kind of taking into account that 20% growth rate, and then trying to kind of extrapolate from there. It's not reasonable to expect that we'll continue to grow at that same rate, but it's really hot in here. I do think it's good to have goals, because sometimes I get really down about social media. I get out of ideas, which is where I am right now. I'm out of ideas. I'm out of creative ideas for reels for you guys, and that's why I'm doing this vlog, I think, because I hope this is interesting to you guys, what I'm doing here behind the scenes. So I'm gonna pack some orders right now. I've got my trusty Rollo printer here, and let's see. There was exciting, more international orders. We got an order we're adding another country, Italy. So I think we've shipped to, I don't know, a dozen countries now, which is exciting. I'm always surprised at how many international orders come in. And again, there's like a ChatGPT inside of my Shopify site, which I only just realized about a few weeks ago, but it's amazing. And talk about what Meta should have installed. They should have something like what Shopify is Sidekick. That's this ChatGPT inside of Shopify. Sidekick is very helpful. I asked it for my international customer stats, and 20% of my orders are international. Now, a lot of that is Canadian, which is great, love the Canadians. And we have a United Kingdom too, along with Italy. And you know, maybe I should be building out some kind of international strategy, because 20% is a lot. And the main barrier, and I don't blame anyone, is the shipping cost. The shipping cost even to Canada is expensive, but it's really expensive to Europe. And I get lots of message every single week of people saying, do you ship to Europe? How much does it cost? And for anyone who has that question, yes, we ship to Europe. We ship to, I don't know, over 150 countries and regions. I don't know what the shipping is. It's anywhere from $35 to almost $100. It's about $35 US dollars to ship to Europe usually. Just depends where you are again. And then like for the people that order in Australia, they're paying like 90 something, which is unbelievable. I personally, probably would not pay that myself. So I'm always very grateful when international customers do agree to pay that much. And a lot of people write me nasty messages, which is also totally sort of okay, complaining about how expensive the shipping is and asking me to bring the costs down, which I can't change any of the costs with the international shipping. The global shipping fees are set by Shopify and those carriers like DHL, so there's nothing I can do. I wish there was. I can't afford at the prices of the clothing to include shipping in the international orders right now. We might be able to find a way to do that if we required like a really much higher minimum order for international orders to do that. So that is something that I'm gonna look into, but you'd have to buy more in order for me to be able to cover that. Because most of the shipments that I do in the US are around $8 each. Sometimes if someone buys just one top, like one of the Lucia tops, they're really lightweight, and like this could ship across the US for like $4, usually between $4 and $5, depending on how far it goes. But you know, anything heavier, and especially if it's going from like where we are here in Salt Lake City all the way to New York, that's going to be more expensive. You know, more than $8, usually like $10 to $12. But domestic shipping isn't usually more than about $12 a package. So I can afford to do that, you know, as long as right now the deal is if you order $60 of items, you get free shipping domestically. So that's a pretty reasonable deal, because that's pretty low order value. But maybe we can do something for international orders. I've been thinking about that, but it's going to be more like a $200 minimum, I think. So it also feels like I never get anything done. You know, like for example, I was thinking maybe I'll try to start doing ads on Meta. like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, obviously, because now that I have a pretty good following, I can do some retargeting thing, which ChatGPT also taught me about. So here's my deal. I spent most of yesterday and several hours again today just trying to begin setting up the ads. And of course, Meta has no support function unless you're already running ads. There's no chat or button or contact us even. You cannot find it. So through searching because there's a problem with an ad account, and I had run a previous business on Facebook back when I was doing real estate, and I think everything's kind of tangled up and switching things over. I don't really understand. I truly don't know. I've spent hours and hours researching it. I would really love Meta to help me because I've now spent easily 6 hours to get almost nowhere. But I did find some place to put in a complaint, which I hope they read and help me out with, because I would love to give Meta more money actually in advertising, but I want to create a custom audience first, and I need them to allow me to do that. So yeah, basically the story of my life doing all this stuff is everything takes hours and hours and hours just to even get started sometimes, to make the account or just to figure out what's going on. So I have all the directions for how to set up the ads, exactly the way I want to do them. I know what I want to do, but Facebook won't let me do them. They won't take my money. Meta won't. So this is very frustrating. I spent way too long chatting with you guys because somehow it's 4:39 and I have to get to the post office really quick. But I will make it because I also have to go to UPS and FedEx too. And yeah, guys, check this out. I'm putting all my orders in the Minky Couture bag that I got from obviously Minky Couture, because guess what? They sponsored our last symphony concert, and not only did they sponsor the symphony, but they gave every musician a free Minky Couture blanket. And it was also so on brand for me. This is like the jet black, really, really shiny, beautiful blanket, super soft. So anyway, I gotta run to the post office, so I will update you guys later. All right, guys, it is Tuesday morning, and the good news is that Trump's tariffs on China are being delayed for another 90 days, which is super good news. So a lot of people asked me about the tariffs, and we could do a whole video on that, which I don't really want to do right now. But the tariffs in the old days, pre-Trump, were at 10% coming from China, and now currently I'm paying 30% tariff on products that I bring into the United States that are manufactured in China. And, you know, the threat is potentially all the way up to 150%. That's the point where we really go out of business for sure. So 30%, you know, we can live with. There is, you know, potential price increases because of that kind of tariff, which is unfortunate. But the good news is tariffs are delayed another 90 days. So there's more windows to get product out, for the next few months at least. So I will keep you updated on that one. Okay guys, it is Tuesday afternoon, and what did I do today? I spent most of the day calling the purchasing departments of various school districts. That's because if a teacher wants to buy concert attire from me, they usually need to see my company's name on some kind of approved vendor list, which is every single school district has a different rule about how you get on their list. Some of them have some kind of like online bidding procurement system with a rolling entry, which I've done a few of those. It's very time consuming to fill out. Some of them just say, oh, just email me your information and I'll put you on the list. Other ones have their own specific application form. So I spent about 4 hours straight doing that today, and it was mind-numbing. And I don't know how many school districts there are in the country, but there must be thousands. And I did, like 25 today. So, and that took 4 hours. And I'm not even sure that any of those school districts will actually make a purchase, but they can, I think, do it if they want to. But again, the whole process was so confusing and convoluted. Even a lot of the purchasing departments I called seemed not to know what to do with a company like mine, where someone might be only ordering a few $1,000s worth of items. A lot of these bidding procurement systems are for like construction and renovation companies that are doing 100,000, over $1 million of work a year for a school or something, not these kind of smaller like concert attire sort of bills where it'd be like $1,000 to $10,000 generally. So sometimes they don't even know what to do with me. It's a little puzzling, so that's frustrating. After that mind-numbing process, I decided to really torture myself and look at meta ads again. Because again, I'm just trying to create a custom audience so I can actually target my ads, because you guys are a pretty targeted group out there. And it's now saying, well, if I just pay this bill, there was no bill to pay, but now it's saying if I pay a bill, then I can make a targeted ad. So I had to run ads for several days in order to have a bill to pay to Meta, which I did today. And of course it's telling me some message like, this may take an hour or 48 hours to allow you to do anything. And I'm still completely not confident that it's going to allow me to do anything. So I'm running these terrible ads that are costing me every single day, just to have the opportunity to run a proper ad. So another frustration of the day. Let's see, I'm about to go meet up with a friend for her birthday dinner, and I am ready early, and of course I'm realizing, that it's 6 o'clock here, and that means it's 8 a.m. in China. And they sent an email asking me to approve the grading for another dress that's going to be coming out in September, I hope September, as soon as possible. And grading is my least favorite thing. This is where they've done the exact measurements for every single size, and it always feels like it's wrong. They send me this spreadsheet that's kind of complicated, and I should just show it to you, because then I'm going to have to get measuring tape out and like measure everything that I have on the sample here, and then think it through whether the lengths are correct because we're doing petite, regular, and tall. A lot of people complain about the sleeve length sometimes being too long on the petite, so we are trying to change that at least. The next style we're doing is a little more petite friendly throughout the torso and mid-region, so we didn't regrade that. So that will be the same for petite, regular, and tall, and just the length is what's getting changed, the length of the skirt, part of the dress, and then also the length of the sleeve. So I have to get my measuring tape out. Yeah, I will show you this chart so that your mind can also just be like super confused by it, and you just want to go get margaritas, which I will be doing really soon, the margarita part. So this is the kind of spreadsheet that they send me, and we have regular lengths, petite, and tall, and I can already see that they didn't change, I'm not sure about, well, they did change the sleeve length, but I'm not sure they changed it enough. So this is what I'm not an expert in, right? So it's just a little bit complex for me to figure this kind of thing out, but I'm learning how to do it, and mostly I just trust them that they're gonna do this part correctly, because they're the pros, right? They're the ones who actually make the clothes and are specialists at grading, but I have to check it to approve of it, and it's really stressful because I think if I don't like catch a mistake, then they're all gonna be done wrong, and it'll be my fault. I'll be responsible for that. So I'm gonna check it right now. I'm gonna pull through this and get it done. I'm gonna find my measuring tape. So I got the measuring done, and it always takes me forever, and I just second guess all the measurements the entire time, and then I go back and read the emails that I sent them, and realize that of course I'm contradicting myself, and I should really stick with my guns about what I had said the first time and not second guess myself. So that's pretty much what we did, but I think we did still shorten the sleeve length just a tiny bit, because I don't know, I have kind of long arms, and I feel like there was a hair too long for me maybe. So I did make that little adjustment, just 1 inch. So hopefully that's right. And I'm gonna go have drinks with my friend now and have dinner with her and not think about this anymore. It's Wednesday afternoon now, and I'm happy to report that I made major progress with Meta. No, they never got back to me or helped me. But I did get ads going, actual targeted ads. I was able to make custom audiences, which involved logging into Klaviyo, which is where I keep all of my email marketing, and designing a list in there that I wanted to target, and then exporting those contacts, putting those into Meta, and then building lookalike audiences. I got the Pixel. The Pixel has been working, but I don't know. I have 2 Pixels. I don't know what the other one is really doing, so they're working better now. And it's just like I had a list of what I was going to get done today, and then I try and estimate how long it's going to take to do each thing. Like, oh, 15 minutes, I'll knock that out, 30 minutes this one, and I said Facebook ads would be like 1 hour. In fact, I told myself, don't spend more than an hour on it, no matter what. But that's because I really didn't think I could get it to work. But I miraculously did, about an hour in, manage to get, I don't know, all of those weird restrictions or ad accounts untangled somehow. So then I spent like 3 hours setting up the ads, and I don't know if they're really set up right, but I think they are. So actually, if you guys see the ads, can you tell me if they're like, give me hints. Tell me if they're terrible. Tell me what I should do better, because again, it's just me trying to run this show. So yeah, I'm super tired. I slept really badly last night, so I might just take a nap at this point, but I still need to do like maybe 2 more hours of purchasing emails. Again, this is where I email school district purchasing departments. I don't even know if that's a good use of my time, but it feels like a use of my time that could pay off. I know some people have been reaching out to me through that, so yeah. So I never ended up taking that nap. Meta decided that I had hacked into my own account, and so I had to redo the ads. Anyway, I did get that done, and I'm walking the dogs. It is Thursday, and I have makeup on. It's time to film reels because I've been terrible about putting any new reels out, and I realized that I haven't done one in the swan dress yet, so it's probably high time that I put this thing on myself and show you guys. But first I'm gonna steam it. It does have a few wrinkles when you take it out of the package. This is my favorite steamer. I got it on Amazon. It's the, this is what happens when you put the steamer on the same thing as like the extra air conditioning unit. You throw the breaker. I forgot about this. Okay, let me fix that. Alright, I got the power back on. And when you go to steam it, you can just put the head right on the fabric and it won't damage it at all. And it'll be just a tiny bit damp, I guess, when you do that. But I mean, here in Utah, it dries within seconds, pretty much. So anyway, I'll show you what it looks like on just a second. But of course, I forgot to actually make a video of that for you. So here are some clips from some outtakes of when I was trying to film the reels in the swan dress. Okay, enough of that. I got the reels done, and it took forever because the lighting was terrible, and I decided I would finally get around to setting up these soft boxes, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. It's these things that you've probably seen before. So I got this assembled, and it works pretty well. I actually have 2 of them, so I'm gonna get around to setting up the second one. But yeah, I filmed in front of my weird setup. I'm still not sure I really like it, but it worked for today's purposes. Hello, it's Friday, and say hi to my German Shepherd. This is Millie, isn't she a sweetheart? I had hoped to clean up this room this week, and it didn't happen. And there's all these papers on the desk. It's like my least favorite thing is to go through papers, but maybe Monday, maybe I will get it done. So wasn't quite as productive as I would have hoped to be, and that's partly because a lot of personal stuff kind of came up that I'm gonna have to just take care of, having to do with my car, which is very unexciting. But I do have some exciting stuff happen. I had not 1, but 2 groups that reached out to me this week that want to do like an exclusive partnership with Blackstrad. So I've been talking to them about how we're gonna do this and launch those partnerships. And I've been setting up some landing pages so that their members can, when they come to Blackstrad, they're gonna get certain VIP access to things, which is gonna be super cool for them. So that was encouraging, and that's about it for this week. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I would love to hear what your thoughts are and what you're wondering about, because I really want to try and be as transparent as possible with the business and what I'm up to and what I'm doing. So thanks for joining me.